Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 1 of Crime Time with Mark DeMayo. It's a new series that I'm doing for our Patreon subscribers. Thank you if you are a Patreon subscriber. If you're not yet, please join us. Help us. It costs a lot of money to produce these shows. Not a lot, but it costs money. And Bill and I love doing it, and we really appreciate your help. So we provide extra content that most people aren't going to get a chance to see, and this is one of them. And if you've seen any of my story times with Mark DeMayo, you know already I like to tell stories. These stories that I'm going to tell you on Crime Time with Mark DeMayo they're going to involve some crime, some stuff that I read in the news that I found funny. And boy, we're going to start off with a doozy today. Let me introduce you to our first contestant. Her name is Tina Gonzalez. She's 26 years old, and she was recently sentenced to 2 years probation and 7 months in the county jail for having sex with an inmate. Not a big deal, right? It happens. A lot of jails have conjugal visits. But here's the problem. Tina Gonzalez was a female correction officer in that particular jail, the Fresno County Correctional Facility in California. Not only did she have sex with this inmate while on duty, while in uniform, but it was also while they were in clear view of at least 11 other inmates. Now, I want to tread delicately here because I don't want to seem like a pig, but the reason why I find this story fascinating, I'm 54 years old. I grew up in New York City. Most of my friends were first-generation Americans. Our parents didn't talk to us about sex, especially the guys I hang out with. None of us, the way we figured out or learned about sex was by porn. That was it. Either it was looking at a magazine or actually watching a porn movie. Back then, there was no internet. Okay, there wasn't even VHS tapes didn't come out yet, or DVDs. No, you wanted to go and learn about sex as a 12, 13-year-old boy, which me and my friends were at the time. We went to a movie theater. Yes, you actually sat in a movie theater. There was different movie theaters. There was a movie theater that showed regular movies, and then there was a porno movie theater, a triple X-rated movie theater. The one in Astoria, Queens, was on Steinway, and my friends and I used to go, and we'd go in the day. How creepy could that have been? I can't even remember what the hell was going on there. Oh, the funny thing is when the movies first came out, you see, the marquee would say Debbie Does Dallas, which was the most popular. I'm giving you the name of the most popular triple X-rated movie of the time, Debbie Does Dallas. So it'd say Debbie Does Dallas on the marquee with a triple X rating next to it, and then it would be like Debbie Does Kansas City with a triple X rating, and then it would say First Run in Queens. And when my friends and I used to leave the theater, we'd always joke around on the walk home like, man, we missed First Run in Queens again. And if you don't get that joke, it's because First Run in Queens wasn't a movie. It was the fact that this particular movie theater was advertising to the rest of Queens that if you want to see the porno movies when they first come out, this is where you come. And that's the way they advertise it. First Run in Queens. So that was our little joke. The porn back then, in the late 70s, early 80s, probably you figure 79, 80 maybe, 79, 80. The porn back then was scripted. It was really, really corny. A lot of people know what I'm talking about. It was always some guy delivering pizza, and there would be like some really cheesy music in the background. They were scripted porn, okay, and poorly scripted, by the way. And a lot of the great scenes were these scenes that took place either in a jail, a cop going into the cell, or uh, a correction officer going in. It was always a guy in uniform going into the cell and having sex with the female inmate, or vice versa. But the one thing you left with when you left the movie theater, you knew it was an absurd situation. This could never happen in real life, but it was okay. It was okay because it was porn. It was a fantasy. It was a sexual fantasy. Okay. But it could never happen in real life. And then here comes Tina Gonzalez to prove us all wrong. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy. She not only did she provide this particular inmate with sex, easy access sex, because apparently she used to cut a hole into her uniform pants, a slit, so he can slide right in there, and she didn't have to take off her uniform pants. Talk about a trooper, man. God bless her. Well, anyway, um, enough putting her down. Who knows? Maybe she really fell in love with this guy. Her excuse was that she was going through a divorce and she wasn't thinking clearly. She was very, very upset because of the divorce. And who knows? Maybe that could be true. And who knows? Maybe she found her soulmate in this particular prison while working. She only had 2 years on the job, by the way. So it's not like she wasted 20 years of career and then threw it all away by getting fired. It was she was in her second year. It's not the end of the world. She could find something else, and hopefully, when she's done with her 7 months in the county jail, and he's done doing his time, maybe they can get together and start a family, and be law-abiding citizens. That's what I wish for them. By the way, I just couldn't believe that this was a real thing that happened. With this day and age. And, that's like with a lot of stories that make the news, the ones that get my attention anyway. Uh, I don't understand how you stand there and you swear in, and then you wind up having sex with the inmates. I don't know. Anywho, I'll close out with this one. These are going to be short and sweet what I'm bringing to you, but here's something I also wanted to show you. This is, let me open up the screen here. This woman by the name of Jennifer Watson was recently acquitted, thank God, by a Denver jury. This is what happened. She was driving, minding her own business, when she came across a protest, a George Floyd protest. And apparently she got shook because there's people on top of a car. She drove off. Look at these animals, huh? What the hell is going on in our world? They're still chasing her. This is a lady who was by herself in the car, driving home from work, gets to a light, and she gets to a light, and before you know it, her car is surrounded, and she's obviously scared. I'm not really sure how anybody who goes to these protests can see a lady by herself in the car, and I don't know what they want from us when they're in the car and they're protesting. If you're stopped, sometimes they want answers from us, and what's the answer to this question and puzzle and riddle. And if you don't answer properly, they start banging on your windows. It's all intimidation. Unfortunately, we're living in a crazy world right now. But fortunately for this lady, that there's still people that are have a head on their shoulders. There's still people out there that, and luckily they sat on this particular jury because they acquitted her very quickly, by the way. And some states are passing laws. I'm pretty sure Florida is one of them, where if you impede traffic, the driver will not be held responsible if they run you over. So that's another benefit of living in Florida. But anyway, this was quick. They're all going to be quick. I'm going to be coming to you at least once a week, possibly 2, maybe 3 times a week. Every time I see a story, sometimes I might go live while I'm reading the paper, or who reads the paper anyway? While I'm reading my phone. Anywho, thank you for being a subscriber to our Patreon, and I look forward to providing you with some more funny content in the very near future.